Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Mars on the Mic. This is the third episode, and today's special guest for this episode is my big sister, who heavily influenced me growing up, Stacy Ramirez. We're gonna dive into just growing up together and like what it was like growing up, and it was awesome. This podcast because there's a couple of interesting things in here that were brought up, and the focus of this podcast was basically the UFC turnaround, and hopefully one day she will end up being that matchmaker for the UFC. I'm hoping she pulls through. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And okay, well, we need something cool to sign off. Can you play something on the ukulele? I'll freestyle. Go. Yeah. Use a hey. Oh, hey. This is my third podcast. I brush teeth, don't eat ass. I eat plastic and that glass. I get money, count that cash. I drive slow, not too fast. On that ice while I pass. I don't pass the ball like Kobe. I'm a bald as head like Yajirobe. Was it Yajirobe or was it... Who was it?
Master Roshi.
Roshi, oh! Roshi, green dinosaur, you can call me Yoshi. I don't like tofu or toshi. Oh shit, shout out to my homeboy Joshi, that's me in Japanese. Oh yeah, I'd like to get in your Japanese. What? Okay, alright, that's good, we're good. Alright, off to the podcast. Okay, so let's set the scene straight. So the moment my cousin walks in, immediately she breaks her toe by moving a chair. What else has she done? She almost broke the fan because she tried pulling it down.
I forgot about
and that shit broke almost. What else happened?
Well, I was just holding the scoreboard and
She almost sat on my headphones.
Yeah, she almost did sit on her headphones. Pretty good start. I mean, what a way to come from
Oh yeah, and
from
she
Calgary.
also threw the Wiimote on the ground.
Yeah, she almost broke the Wiimote too.
No, I didn't. How did I do that?
You'll find out. It's in the video evidence.
Oh.
You're like, oh, I threw it on the ground. I shouldn't, because these are expensive. Anyways, so what's up, man? This is Stacy. Everyone say hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, so what's up, man? How are you?
Great.
Chilling. So
Chillin'.
she's our cousin, by the way, first cousin from where are you from?
From Winnipeg,
Yeah.
Moved to Calgary.
Yeah. Which you grew up a bit here too, right? Not too much, maybe like a year or two.
Probably, what do you mean a year or two? Maybe like 5 years or something like that.
Was it 5?
Yeah.
It seemed like forever.
Well, I moved from Winnipeg to Vancouver when I was 17, and then I moved away when I was 20.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the first little visit you had, and then you came back. Yeah. What made you want to come back here, or to move out actually?
To move out here?
Yeah.
Winnipeg, whack as fuck.
Just
Well, no, really, there's no opportunities there.
right. And what do you mean by opportunities? Like we have the same like type of schooling or?
You do, but once again, Winnipeg whack as fuck. But I don't know. I just wanted to move to a bigger city, bigger dreams, broaden your horizon.
Okay, so what did you do here in terms of schooling?
When I moved here first, I wanted to be an automotive mechanic for some reason. I don't know why, but I took it from grade 9 to 12.
Yeah, I remember this one story where we were in the car with you, your mom, your dad, Jeff, and Charmaine, and then the car stopped randomly. I remember this this was in 2005. The car stopped, and then your dad checked the car, and then I think you checked the car, and then you diagnosed it to the point where it's like, oh, it's actually this, and that. And then I think someone came over to check out the car, and then they said the exact same thing, and you were so proud.
Do you remember? I remember that too. You were in Winnipeg, weren't you?
Yeah. I was there for like a good month and a half. I remember chilling with Chester most of the time, and then whenever I came over, whenever you were free, we would hang out. But yeah, I remember that was like when I found out you were really good at cars, or like you know your stuff about cars.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know why, but if you don't know me, I'm pretty much a boy in a girl's body. Like in high school, I took automotive mechanics. I took electrical, and I took welding.
Mm-hmm.
Although I should have taken all the other smart people courses, but
Yeah.
seem fine now.
Yeah, but everybody has a different path, though. But that's interesting how you would go that way. You also did karate as a kid, haven't you?
Yeah, I started when I was 4.
Yeah, I also remember for our grandparents' 50th anniversary, I remember you guys performing in front of everyone.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
How many years was it?
I think it was in 2000, so maybe 16 years ago. Yeah, holy shit, that was a while ago.
I wonder if we still have the video. But
Yeah.
I remember for the finale or something, I got up on one of my teammates' shoulders and I stood on there, and he stood up, and I think I don't remember if I flipped off or not. Maybe I did.
So you could do
Maybe I
those
didn't.
things. You did those things before.
Oh yeah, all that crazy
Yeah.
shit.
Are you capable of doing it now?
If someone's willing to let me go on their shoulders, then perhaps can try.
Yeah.
Maybe not here. I'll probably get injured again.
Yeah. What are the it's likely of you getting injured now, right? You're not as flexible as before, were you?
Not as flexible as before, but I think I can still do the splits and stuff.
Right, like tricks and whatnot.
Yeah.
How did you get into the martial arts or like combat and stuff?
My dad got me into it because he started karate too. So it was me, my dad, and my brother, and we all started at the same time. And we all got our I think my dad got his black belt, but I remember we all got our black belts, and then I moved on to a different discipline when we were older. And now I just keep on adding more tools to my game.
So you guys are black belts.
Yeah.
Is that something you keep for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah. It's very rewarding.
How many years has it taken you to get your black belt?
I would say maybe 6 or 7.
Years.
Yeah.
At what age did you start?
4.
Damn. So you got it at like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
You're already kicking ass by then.
But then I think it was the age of 16 you can't officially get your black belt, so I think they call it a poon belt.
A poon belt?
Yeah, something
Sounds
like that.
raunchy.
So it's like half red, half black. So it's technically a black belt for kids. I got that.
Mm. And did you transition to an actual black belt later on after 16 or?
No, I moved on to a different
Oh yeah, that's right. And
different type of sport.
Which was?
That was Taekwondo, and then I moved on to karate.
Right. Was judo ever a thing, or is that just?
Judo is more grappling. I'm trying to add that to my game right now. Not so much judo, but jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So what's it like having like a ton of guys around you, knowing that you're the only girl in the family? Well, on our dad's side, we're related with our dads being brothers. So
yeah, a lot of I wouldn't say bad influence, but I'm definitely raunchy. Like when guys or the opposite sex meets me, they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" Because I'm farting everywhere, or like telling them I have to poo, or telling them that I pissed my pants or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they're not used to it, but I don't know. It's different. Everyone says that I'm always different, but really, I'm just like one of you guys.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why we mesh so well, because it's like, oh, there's another one of us
Yeah.
that happens to live somewhere else in this world.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the fun part. How's your brother, by the way? He was were you two ever like close?
Oh yeah, we were the best of friends when we were younger.
Right.
I think he was my major influence growing up
Yeah.
because he got me into all the boy shit,
Right.
like all the sports and all the rap and all the hip hop and stuff. If he wasn't my influence, I would be soft as fuck today.
Tissue soft.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of funny how you mentioned that, because even though I didn't grow up around him as much, you two were always my influence. Me, him, you, and Chester. It was those three. That's
Yeah.
how we got into hip hop. That's how we got into all the other stuff. And that's why our humor is different.
Yeah.
I always found it to be, when there's shit that I say and I think it's like really funny, but to everyone else it's like, what?
It's just like stupid humor. Like
Yeah.
only we would laugh at stupid
Yeah.
shit like that.
It's a Ramirez thing, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I think we get that from our parents too. Like, I know my dad's funny. Your dad's really funny. He's really funny.
Yeah. Sometimes when I talk to your dad or when he does stuff, I'm like, oh my god, my dad does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They're seriously twins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of growing up, I remember you telling us that you weren't sure if you were Filipino.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So if you ever see me, people say I straight up don't look Filipino. I don't know what it is. Well, I
Right.
do know what it is. It's them goddamn Chenk eyes, but I got those from my mom.
Mm.
So, yeah, I don't.
Does she have a
don't know.
different part? Is she part anything else?
Well, I always keep on confronting her, like, okay, I need to know if I'm Filipino or Chinese or whatever. And she's always like, oh, well, I think your Lolo is Chinese. But I don't really know what percentage. So when people
Yeah.
ever talk to me, they're like, are you Chinese? I'm like, well, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to get to the bottom of it one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Have you tried that ancestry thing?
I did. I tried making our family tree, but it's hard to make when someone doesn't even give you the information that you need.
Yeah, especially ones that are like truth, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that they say but like aren't
Yeah,
completely
so
sure.
I don't really know what to say when people ask me because there's no way in hell I'm pure Filipino if I look Chinese. You know what's weird too?
What?
Is I'm Filipino, I got a Spanish name,
Yeah.
but I look Chinese. How big of a confusion is that?
Are you sure it's Chinese? It could be Japanese for all we know. Because, like, looking back at history, there was Spanish people that, you know, messed around the Philippines a bit, and then Japanese are people, they came over. You know, there might be a mix. Here's
Yeah.
my theory. I think I told my brother this. I think we had an ancestor, just like an innocent female, that got knocked up by a Spaniard.
You think so?
Well, I mean, how do we get Ramirez, right?
I think so too because on my mom's side, she's saying that we also have Spanish blood, but I don't know if it's legit or not. I don't want to say like, oh, I am a cholo, but
We got an inner cholo.
Yeah.
But it's kind of evident, like, who is a Ramirez that, you know, that doesn't look suspect? You kind of look Spanish to me. Like, take, what's that baseball player?
Manny.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez. He's definitely Spanish.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that there's, like, some sort of percentage. I remember my mom's side, our grandma, she said we have a bit of, like, Indian in us, which is pretty funny because I love
Weird.
Indian food. I don't know. But it's very interesting.
You know what's weird too? If I ever look up Stacy Ramirez on Facebook or something, all I see is like white girls or Spanish. You never see like hardcore Asians.
Mm.
And then you come
Yeah.
across me and I'm like, what the hell?
I don't think Stacy is a common name in, like, Asian.
No, it's not, which is really weird.
Yeah.
My mom actually was supposed to name me Barbie because,
Oh.
ugh, thank God she didn't. Because her last name starts with a Q, so she can call me Barbecue. How mean is that? Thank goodness. But then she was like, "Ugh, no, I'll just let your dad pick. So my dad picked Stacy Jane.
Mm,
I think he named it after a model. I don't know who it is.
probably a Stacy Jane.
Yeah.
Might be. You know what's funny? My brother's middle name was supposed to be 23.
What? I
Jordan
think-
23 Ramirez.
That would make sense nowadays because
Yeah.
people name their kids all kinds of weird things.
Yeah. What's the weirdest name you've heard of your
I-
whole life? That you know a person. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I heard someone name their kid hashtag. The fuck is that?
Hashtag? Why?
I know. Well, jeez. I mean, some names go together, like, Blue Ivy. That sounds nice.
Northwest. I don't know.
Eh.
I don't know. That one's kind of weird. That one's a little iffy one. But yeah, it's. I find it very interesting. You know, the first time I saw you, I think I was 5. This was when I started memorizing shit. When you and Jeff came over, and I think when my parents said that we were family, I questioned myself. I'm like, I don't know. Are these kids adopted? I didn't know if adopted was a word back then. So I just thought, like, did they just find these random kids somewhere and just call them family? Like,
I remember that. You lived in the New West, was it?
yeah, I think so. Queensboro.
Yeah. I saw some pictures back then. I'm like, holy cow. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you and your brother really looked alike back then.
Really?
Yeah. I
Now
think
not so much, hey? He's packing on the pounds. Just kidding.
That's so funny. But yeah, we did a lot of things when we were there. I remember when we went to Whistler, we did rock climbing.
Yeah.
And then I had to go and like I had to squeeze this dinosaur and then go down, like the same way I came up, but I didn't touch the rocks at all. So I was just swinging and bumping into the rocks each and every time. It was very, very embarrassing.
Do we have a video of that or pictures?
I think there was I remember, like, back then when we had like VHSs and like the big ass camcorders.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely have those. I think, you know what, nowadays it might be harder to have a physical copy of memories, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is like digitalized.
Yeah, I wish we had the technology back then.
Yeah. But the thing
So
is,
we can
you
bring
can
it
also
back.
print out like from your photo and stuff, which is cool. But like, you know how we used to have like the roll-ups after you
Yeah.
take pictures with the Polaroids or whatever, and then you just go to Superstore and then you just get a whole bunch of pictures printed out in the ink room.
Can you still do that? Is that there?
I don't think so. The photo room or whatever? I
Yeah.
haven't seen it since. But that's something that like I always wish we would do more often, because I think from a span of like 2006 when we got our first digital camera, it was always on the computer, and then whenever we switched out computers, it would all be gone. Like a whole bunch of pictures with like our students, a whole bunch of pictures of like us going on vacation. I think the latest pictures that we have digitally was on Facebook. It was like 2008, so there's nothing too crazy about that though.
Yeah.
Like we missed out on so much pictures and whatnot.
Just have to
which
keep
is
it
very
organized,
upsetting.
I guess. But
Yeah.
it's so hard to.
Yeah. Okay, so what made the transition from mechanic to aviation?
Well, when I was working at Honda, I knew there was a 5-year wait just to get into the shop. So I was working outside of the service department. I was working in sales, and I was a lot girl. So I was washing the cars. I was driving them around, getting gas for them, cleaning them, detailing them and stuff. So I knew it was a 5-year wait, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm willing to wait for that, I guess. And it was a long lineup. I would say I was like 9th or something. So
For the program?
to get into the shop.
Oh,
because
shit.
those people already finished their course and stuff. And I was looking around, and I think it was busy as well. Like there's other lineups to get into the shop, or you want to work at some sketchy mechanic place working for pennies, or they make you do all these like fucked up jobs. So
Yeah.
I was willing to wait and stick around, but after maybe, what was it, 1 or 2 years, I was like, well, gotta speed up the process, or I gotta do something about it. And after working there for so long, I realized like you could make good money potentially, but
Right.
I wanted more. Like I wanted to have like a 6-figure dream. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, what can I do that is similar to this, but with more money? And I was thinking like what kind of skills I had.
Right.
And I worked at Canadian Tire actually as
did
this position. It was called tower operator. And you're pretty much the brains of the operation. So
Canadian
you're-
Tire?
Oh yeah, the service department.
Wait, what the hell do they need a tower for?
Dude, man. It was called tower operator, and you were in charge of all the work orders. So you had to dispatch which job for which mechanic, and then you were in charge of everything. You had to order the parts, you have to write out the work orders,
Yeah.
and you just like make sure everything's in check. And it was high stress, it was busy all the time, and you're kind of like the leader. And I'm like, I kind of like this. So I was like trying to think of similar jobs that would be like that, but kind of in the same field.
Right.
And then I was thinking like, oh, did my research, and I saw air traffic controller, and I'm like, oh, I think I got a chance at that.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I can do it. So I looked into aviation because I had a thing for traveling too. For
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason, like every time I went to airports, I knew what was going on. I wasn't those like confused people running around asking questions. I just got to it. So
Yeah.
I got into aviation. My dad wanted me to be an aircraft mechanic at first because
They make good money too.
they make good money too. But I was talking to one of my teachers, and he's like, no, that's not what you want to do. Because he knew I had a thing for the air traffic controller.
Right.
So he's like, don't take that course, refund your money, and I'll tell you how to get there. So he kind of guided me to how to get there. But I'm not an air traffic controller right now, but I do work for an airlines, and it's pretty sick. You know,
Yeah.
I get to travel the world and you can really do whatever you want
Yeah.
at a cheap price. Like, I'm here.
It's pretty
Living,
evident
guys.
how you really show like how it's possible for just anybody. And like when you were working as a mechanic, were you always around like male like guys?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Was there ever like a once in a blue moon you'd see like a female worker or
Well, there's female workers, but they're in the sales side or the receptionists or service advisors. So
but not really the hands-on?
no, it's pretty rare.
Yeah. Are you happy with this decision that you made?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
best decision decision of my life.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like, what was your thought process about going into like a new program like that?
I was all in for it. I'm pretty open minded, and
Yeah.
you just have to make sure that you're happy doing it, you know. And I think I went over a bump, and I realized I wasn't happy with all the mechanic stuff. Like,
Right.
I don't mind doing it now, but
Mhm.
if you go into it 40 years after, I think
Yeah.
I might be miserable. So
Right, yeah. You got to find something that makes you happy, and that's
Yeah.
all that matters really. And like you're getting paid while you're doing it, so and you're making a living for it,
oh yeah.
which is great. Which is great. So like what type of training did you have to do in aviation?
I got my private pilot's license, believe it or not.
Mhm. So you can fly a plane if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All day. Does it have to be like a specific plane that you're only allowed to fly, or is it like one of those small ones?
Yeah, just a small one, because I didn't want to be a commercial pilot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know, that's not my thing. I
Yeah.
just want to fly my friends or my family. I don't want to fly passengers that I don't know. I just like to do it for fun.
Yeah, for sure. But that was a requirement though, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And it
So-
seems very expensive too, having to rent out a plane. I remember you mentioning how much it was, and it was crazy
Oh man.
how much you had to pay just for an hour. Just for an
Yeah.
hour. That's way too expensive.
Depends on what school you're at too. Like
Mhm.
the
What school did you go to?
I went to Pacific Flying Club.
And that's here.
That's here in Delta.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it like a private school or is it just?
It's not really a private school. It's just a club for anyone that wanted their commercial or the private or the recreational license.
Yeah. That's crazy. Hey, how that turned out to be. I
know.
remember. I think my parents were just like, "Oh yeah, she's doing this. This is very interesting. Like this wasn't a route that people would expect, others to go through. Like how I went through nursing and whatnot, and like I don't know, it just didn't seem like something anyone would do."
I know. I remember my first flight. Actually, I'm like, I can't believe I'm the one doing this, because I was actually really good at taking off and landing,
Yeah.
but just staying in the sky was the hardest part for me, actually.
Right. So you'd have to deal with like turbulence and like which way the wind was going.
Yeah,
and
I
you'd have
had
to fly.
crazy turbulence for some reason. My passenger in the back almost threw up.
So you could fly. So you fly people. Is
Yeah.
that part of your job? No, not really, right?
Well, it's not part of my job, but it was
Just
just
something you want to do, right?
just a requirement for me to get into aviation.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them like who you work for, or like what flight you work for, or just?
Yeah. Excuse me. I work for WestJet Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the best company.
Is that because you work there, or is it because it's actually like top dog?
Well, I feel like they're top dog. I remember, not to be biased, but when I flew Air Canada on vacations before I worked at WestJet, I would always throw up.
You know what's interesting? I know this isn't really a valid reason, but whenever I took WestJet or Air Canada, I would always have to pay for my carry-on or whatever. Oh no, or was it? Or you're checking in like your
Yeah.
baggage, right?
Your checked baggage.
The first one would be, you'd have to pay for, and the second one, yeah. But in WestJet, it's like it's free for the first one. Well, it was. That's why I was
It
like, I'd rather.
was,
Yeah, that's why I'm
yeah.
like, I'd rather go to WestJet. Forget this. This is nonsense. Because then we used to deliver, how Vancouver is like the
hub.
yeah, to like, to get to Winnipeg or Calgary or whatnot. So we send out boxes and whatnot, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool living here too. When you have like family from the Philippines that are trying to immigrate here, they always come here first.
Mm-hmm.
They always come here first for like a couple weeks. So it's good to like, catch up with them, get to know more about them before they head out to Winnipeg.
Mind you, Vancouver's beautiful too.
Yeah, but you know what's unfortunate though, as like it's so high the cost of living here, and in my case as like LPNs we get paid the least out of all the other provinces.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's why I was contemplating whether or not moving to like Calgary or somewhere like in the mid province, because during my program I had this teacher. He was from Saskatchewan. He said he was getting paid $35 an hour.
Is that good?
It's pretty solid because we're only getting paid 26, 28 here. That's our cap.
Wow.
And like the living condition, like the cost of living there, I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than living here.
Yeah, it's dirt cheap down there.
And like with the money that you're making, you can definitely make a living off of $35 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I love it here, but I don't think I would live here again. BC stands for bring cash.
You gotta bring it. You gotta be one of those rich Asians.
Yeah, those
that
rich
here.
fucking hongers that have Ferraris with an N sign on the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Calgary. I think I'm in a good situation because Calgary is cheaper, but then I have the opportunity to fly back and forth all the time. So it's good for me, but I guess for other people it would be harder. It'd be more difficult.
Yeah, you gotta have a solid career to live here. I mean, like, I really don't plan on living check to check, especially passing this course. Like, I want to make sure I feel comfortable long term. How is Calgary versus Winnipeg? Because it's kind of the same, is it not? I always looked at Calgary as more of like a working province.
Yeah, that's all it is for me. Calgary is just my home base. Well, it's also my fault too. I don't really go out in Calgary. I don't do anything. All I do is work. All I do is train. So it's all the same. So my typical day in Calgary would be, so here's the thing. I'm a shift worker and I work fucked up hours. So I'll start at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. So I'll wake up, let's say 2 o'clock, snooze till 2:30. Get up at 3 o'clock, leave the house 3:15. I'll work till 4, and I'll come home, and I'll take a nap till 6. Wake up, go to jiu-jitsu from 7 till 9:30.
Yeah.
Go home, shit, shower, shave, do it all again. Wake up at 2, repeat.
For how long?
For whenever long I work. Sometimes I'll have like 4 in a row. Or 1 day in a row, or 7. So all depends on what kind of schedule I have.
Right. Is there like a cap on how much you can work within a month, or is there no like?
No. What I like to do is we get to pick our schedules for the next 2 months. So I like to work my ass off 1 month, and then the next month I like to take it all off and just go on vacation or go back home or just do whatever.
Yeah, I kind of want to be in that situation too, where I could just like try and grind it out, and then like when I can find time, then just go out and go on vacation too. Yeah, that's like one of the big things I want to do is to like travel and stuff, because there's a lot of people that tell me that they traveled too late, if that makes sense.
Yep, I think that's true too.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, when I was doing my rotations out in like long-term care facilities, they'd always tell me stories of like, oh yeah, I used to do this and that, but I was at an old age, so I couldn't really enjoy it. I would always be sitting down, looking at the views, aside from like actually going out and walking, and just physically, feeling that you're there. So that's what I really want to do.
Yeah, and we're also at our prime time right now too. I mean, I know people who have kids and stuff, and they're trying to travel, and they're just another. And not to be mean, you got to pay for them, you got to watch them, you got to take care of them too, instead of just being wild and free.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really want to be that responsible yet. I ain't trying to be that responsible.
Yeah, same.
You know what? In all honesty, I'm still trying to figure myself out, because what this did for me, I really want this to be like my financial stability, and to actually go out and do what I really want to do. Just kind of like how you're doing right now with the whole UFC thing.
Yeah, it's
So
it takes a long time to figure yourself out, but when you do, you know who you are, you're
yeah,
comfortable and
right.
like what you want, and you're gonna get it.
Yeah, and you'll be coasting the rest of the way and enjoying it every second of it, which is awesome. So yeah, you mentioned jujitsu, right?
Yep.
And you wasn't there like some sort of pause in between where you stopped training like taekwondo and all the other stuff, or were you always like?
I think the pause was when I first moved here, and I think within the third year that I lived here, I started jiu-jitsu again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do any striking or Muay Thai. I just did straight jiu-jitsu.
Where did you do it around here?
I did it at Gracie Baja in Vancouver.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
It's not that expensive, but it does cut in your budget sometimes. I mean, gis are super expensive. The uniforms that you have to wear.
You have to wear gis.
Well, there's gi classes like the traditional classes, but there's also no gi where
Right.
you wear just rash guards or dry fits and.
Like whatever.
But it's totally different. I wouldn't say it's like black and white, probably black and gray.
Really?
Because with gis, you can grab onto the collar and stuff, but with no gi, there's nothing to grab on. You got to grab on the wrist, or you got to do like different techniques. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
What do you prefer?
It depends. Sometimes I'm feeling no gi, and then sometimes I'm feeling gi. It just all depends on what mood I'm in.
Like, are these gis made out of like specific material, or is it just like the traditional rule of like, oh, you could grab this part or you could grab that part?
They're made of specific material, but certain brands have it lighter or they have it thicker. It all depends on what kind of brand you like. I like it lighter,
Mm-hmm.
so it's easy to move it around and it's not as baggy and
Right.
you can grip pretty good. I don't know. It all
Right.
depends on the person.
Okay, that's interesting. I always find it fascinating how some people have gis and some people don't, and I'm like, what's the difference? Does it matter?
Yeah.
Are the rules different, or is it? Because I remember like when UFC had no rules at the
Yeah.
beginning, everyone like one person had gi, one person would have a fucking claw.
Yeah, it's crazy how much mixed martial arts have evolved within
Mhm.
the years.
Yeah, I remember that's why New York bailed out on it at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It was too dangerous as a sport.
The first show, they're like, "Oh hell no!
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get hurt watching like doing this."
Yeah,
so.
because this is actual like fighting. This isn't like the WWE.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the difference with
Mhm.
with MMA. People want to hurt you, whereas football or something, they just want to throw the ball. You know?
Yeah, getting from point A to point B.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you find it hard to promote yourself as a fighter?
Yes, I think it's very hard. I think it's hard in general just to be a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I give respect to anyone that does it or wants to do it because you have to put 100% your heart and soul into it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like that goes with everything too. Like everything
Yep.
and anything. Some of the fighters apparently like they fight to survive.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you right now, 95% of the fighters are all broke.
I remember what's that story? Nate Diaz. I remember he used to, or him and his brother used to like literally fight just for tacos.
Yeah,
At the end of the practice.
They only went to practice because all the bigger guys would give them dinner at a food truck after class. So they fought so they could eat,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy, and like they make it big too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, people think that if you're a UFC fighter or if you're an MMA fighter in general, they think they're Conor McGregor, red panty night millionaires. But
Right.
in reality, they're just like me and you.
Yeah.
They actually probably make less salary than a normal person.
Yeah. About the salary thing, I heard they don't make much compared
Yeah.
to like boxers.
No, I saw some contracts with some of my friends, and it's pretty sad because
Mm-hmm.
that's their main
Source of income.
source of income, exactly. And if they don't win, then they're only going to get half of what they're supposed to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty sad. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's not sad if that's something they love to do.
Yeah. What got you into UFC? I know you were into the combat and stuff, but like what was the first key matchup that you saw that you were like, oh shit, I gotta check this out?
I don't know. I was watching with my dad, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw a bunch of fights with him, so
Right.
it was kind of just like second nature.
Yeah.
Watching Pride, watching UFC, and there's just a bunch of fights that got me glued to it. So I was like,
Right. Who was the first few fighters that actually got you into it though? Like,
I would say the OGs like Randy Couture, Tim Sylvia. Watching them.
yeah.
I was a big fan of BJ Penn back in the day, and I would remember watching all his videos on YouTube, and then trying to find like a partner. Like, oh, let me try this on you. This was before I did jiu-jitsu, so
Yeah.
I wanted to see how it was, and I would always copy him and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my dad and I think Jordan too, we always had some kind of interest in combat too. Because I remember, well, we take it back to like VHS days and like DVD days when Jackie Chan, we'd always watch him. And he'd always be in like the craziest fight scenes, and we'd be like, "Oh shit, this is tight!" And then we'd always, reenact it. So I got a question for you. What would you think of if Bruce Lee was in his prime in today's UFC?
I'm not sure if he would actually join. He's super traditional.
Mm,
I was watching this documentary on
I think I know
Shaolin,
what you're talking about.
like Shaolin fighters.
Right.
They get sacked, and they don't feel anything. Like they're super strong, but they're skinny.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but I don't think they would never join the UFC
Mm-hmm.
because why should they? They only want to just be the way of the warrior.
I remember him like not approving of rules because he's like, it's a fight, it's a street fight. There's
Yeah.
no rules to a real fight. And the thing with UFC is that they've changed a lot of rules throughout its course, and they're still changing it, aren't they?
Yeah, there's Pride rules and UFC rules are totally different. Sometimes, depending on the fight, I wish they had Pride rules, and then looking back at it, you're like, oh shit, maybe it's a good idea to not have them soccer kick you in the head when you're on the ground.
That's Pride, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember watching like Jose Aldo highlights and just watching him kick people on the ground. It's scary because he's a kicker, isn't he? He's like Muay Thai, and he's like, the kicks that he makes are like soccer kicks.
Yeah, they're vicious.
Yeah, and it's insane how hard he hits, and it's scary. It's really scary. What other rules have they taken? I remember eye gouging is out.
Yeah.
What was that? John Jones got disqualified for 12 to
Oh,
6.
his elbows to Matt Hamill. He was elbowing him. I can't really show you. I guess I'm doing it right now. 12 to 6 like this versus any other angle. So that's the only
Loss he's had,
loss
right?
he's had. But other than that, he's undefeated.
Yeah, but it's not really a loss though, right?
No.
It was still a stoppage, and the 12 to 6 didn't even look that bad when I saw it. But it's still illegal. What other illegal things have they taken out?
Well, no soccer kicks.
Yeah. You can't kick them if their hand is on the ground. I remember that one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, with Pride, they score for the whole fight, not for the round.
Oh,
So
shit. That's
that
kind of
was-
hard to... Do you approve of that, or do you like the round-by-round scheme?
I think I like round by round.
Mm-hmm.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. And like the momentum of the fight too, and like if you're gonna judge the whole fight, you can't really backtrack on how you felt about like, oh, this particular minute of the fight versus the next, because like there's some momentum switches sometimes, right?
And even if it was judging by the whole fight itself, you would still break it down per round.
Mm-hmm. I thought of this when I was watching the first Pacquiao and Bradley fight when Pacquiao got robbed. They had like these ridiculous scores where it favored Bradley, where in reality it looked like he was getting his ass kicked. So like I was wondering, how would you feel if one judge was judging in different parts of the ring? Because sometimes one judge may not see a certain punch, and one may not see the other.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, but I guess it all depends on the judges too. I mean, I've seen a lot of fights where clearly the other guy won, but they gave it to the other guy, and it was a split decision or it was unanimous, and it all depends on who's the actual judge. Sometimes I think they're all fucked in the head.
Yeah, I think it's politics sometimes too. Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't they pay the judges a certain way? Because I remember that goes back from way back, like Roy Jones and like the Olympics. I keep going back to boxing because that's like I know that more than
It's
UFC.
your bread and butter.
Yeah, we grew up watching Mike Tyson, man, and Butterbean, my man Butterbean. But yeah, going back and watching Roy Jones in the Olympics because he got robbed by some Korean dude. Because and like that was obvious too, and everyone was so choked.
And even just the recent fight on 204, Bisping versus Hendo.
Hendo?
I thought Hendo won that fight, but once again, Bisping's in England and he's a champ, so they're going to favor it more to Michael Bisping.
Yeah. You think that was a 10-8 round, a couple of those?
I think so.
Oh, I thought about it. I
That's
thought
too
about
bad.
it, yeah. That would be cool if he walked out of UFC, retired the champ.
Yeah, still a legend in my eyes, though.
Yeah. He's been all around the world, has he not?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has. He's been in most of the organizations, so it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's
You wanna-
old as fuck, too.
What is he, 47, 46?
Yeah, something
Around
like that.
You think you'd be competing at that age?
He would?
No, I mean like for you two.
For me?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll still look 16 at that age too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do you ever see yourself competing ever, like in amateurs or?
I thought I wanted to at first when I joined an MMA gym, but looking now, I think I'd like to be involved, but I don't want to get punched in the face. There's other ways to be involved in mixed martial arts without having to be the fighter yourself.
Right. So like the trainees or like the sparring partners.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I'll train like a pro, but
Mm-hmm.
the fighter route is not for me probably right now. It was at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me wrong, I'll still compete in tournaments and stuff.
Yeah. It's in your nature too, right? Like
Yeah.
from ever since as a kid. From 4, hey? I was dribbling a basketball at 4.
I was playing games at 4.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird how we have different paths
Yeah.
as we grow older.
Yeah, but it's nice though. It's nice to hear like different stories and whatnot. It's cool. It's really cool.
It's a breath of fresh air sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm the typical, oh, he went into nursing school, now he's a nurse.
Yeah,
But my little-
I'm not. I don't sing. I'm Filipino. I'm not a nurse. I don't play basketball. What else is there?
We don't dance.
Oh yeah, we don't dance.
I'm not a big fan of their food either, unfortunately.
What? I love the food.
I can't.
I love all Asian food.
Oh, well, Filipino specifically, I can't. I can only do like caldereta. Caldereta is life for me.
I like all the food. I don't hate.
I think pancit is plain as shit. Like I can't do that.
It's pretty basic, but when you don't have it in a long time, I eat that shit up.
Do you eat it with lemon?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only time I'll eat pancit actually.
Drench it in lemon.
Yeah, drench it all over. The bottled lemon. Sometimes the real one.
Oh, the real one.
Yeah. Or lumpia too. The spring rolls that they have over there. Can you cook? Do you cook at home? Or are you the...
Oh yeah, I always cook at home all the time. Calgary is so expensive for food. That's why I stay at home. I cook all the time.
Right.
And I pack it for lunch because the headquarters of WestJet is in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. And there's a cafeteria, but you get sick of the food real quick.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. What kind of foods do you cook? Do you keep it traditional, or do you like go the fighter route where they eat right?
No, I have whatever the hell I want. But I know it's mostly all Asian food, so every time I come in, everyone looks at me and they're like, "Whoa, what is that?" Or when someone has fish in the office, they look at me and they blame me. I'm like, "What? I'm eating a cheeseburger. It's not me."
Right. Look, yeah, they'd stereotype you right away.
They think it's my stank ass fish, but it's someone else's.
Do you want to talk about how you got into the UFC? Like, just how everything turned out?
Oh man, I don't know where to start. Huh. Well, I was at work one day and I was like, what do I really want to be? If I ever had the chance to do whatever the hell I want, what would I want to be?
And this was right after you were like settled, like...
Yeah, I was settled, but I was bored. I was like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Just for the hell of it. You know how some people say, oh, I want to be an astronaut or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a UFC matchmaker.
Right, just out of nowhere, right?
Just out of nowhere. I'm like, you know, I've got a knack for this. I know my shit.
Right.
And I think I can do it. I think I can do anything, but that's me being cocky little shit. So
specifically, though, this is what you wanted.
This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I had a thing for it. So just one random day, I decided to reactivate my Twitter account from 2013. I searched for the matchmakers for the UFC, and I just started tweeting them matches I thought would work. Just tweeting away. And I added them on Twitter, on Instagram, and then I messaged them. It was actually Sean Shelby. I messaged him. I was like, oh, well, happy birthday. And I didn't think
Sean Shelby is the actual matchmaker, by the way, for the people that don't know.
He is the official matchmaker for the UFC. Also Joe Silva, but he's gone and retired. Silva. What up, Joe? But anyways, yeah. So he messaged me back, and he was like, oh, thank you, Stacy Matchmaker. And I'm like, oh, he knows. He fucking knows. So I was like, oh, well, thanks. I didn't think he would reply back.
Yeah.
So I was happy that he did. Like, because he has millions of followers, millions of people bugging him. And to have him actually look at my messages was pretty cool.
Right.
So I just kind of like gave him a good message, like, oh, hey, just matching people up. So I'd like to do that in the future. Yeah. And if you don't mind, I want to keep on sending you suggestions and stuff. And he's like, you know, you're the first one to ever ask me. So, yeah, I don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah.
To ask him.
To ask him, because people always demand. So he doesn't like it when people tell him what to do, but...
Oh, I'm sure he's tired of that.
Yeah, for me to politely ask, I guess it was kind of a breath of fresh air to him. So ever since then, we talk, and he was getting to know me, I'm getting to know him, and I keep on asking questions about the UFC. So I wanted to watch a show in Ottawa, and I told him I was going to go to that show.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, I'll definitely see you there. If you want to be a matchmaker, come out for coffee with Joe and I, and we'll teach you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. So even that alone was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying this to me.
Did you think this was real at first?
No, I thought, honestly, I thought he was a celebrity, and I was like, oh, pinch me. He's actually giving me the time of day. Like, I thought maybe just one message was like good enough, you know, but the fact that he still talks to me and we're good friends now, it's pretty surreal, this whole experience. So I go to Ottawa, and I have the worst fucking seats ever.
In the stadium.
I get there, and I'm like, whoa, I can't see shit. And so I message Sean, and I'm like, oh, where are you guys? I can't even see you, because I'm like, where the fuck is anyone? Yeah. So he messages me, and he's like, how many people are you with? And I say 2. And he's like, I have new tickets for you. So I'm like, what the hell? I come down to the railing, I meet him, and it's finally good to put a name to a face. And he gives me these tickets, and I'm like, where is this? Floor seat 1, row number 1. And I'm trying to see where I am on the floor. And I asked one of the people, and they literally pull me in cage side. And I was in Dana White's spot because he couldn't make it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. I'm sitting here? It was crazy. And 2 minutes after, he texts me, and he's like, are these seats better? Yeah. And it was insane for the first show I ever watched. Right. It was a great experience.
Yeah. That's crazy to be in Dana White's seat. And Dana's like the top dog of the UFC. I mean, at the time, right?
So it was kind of good that he didn't show up, because I jacked his spot.
Yeah. Did you take a picture of that seat?
I did actually. Yeah. I always like to document all my UFC trips. Not to brag or anything, but just good experience, and for me to look back on. You know?
For memories, because no one has this opportunity. Like, you're probably the only person in this country, or in North America, to have this type of feel to be with a matchmaker like that. And they're huge. They're big names. Like, they can walk by and they'll be like, oh, it's.
Everyone asks for their autograph too. It's crazy. Yeah. And actually, during the Ottawa fights, I was actually talking to Sean only,
Right.
and not Joe. So
Right.
because Joe doesn't have social media, which I think is a good thing because people would be hounding him left and right.
That's the same with every celebrity, though, right? It depends on how
True.
they feel about the pressure.
Yeah. He doesn't want the fame. He
Right.
just does it because he loves what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I'm watching this show in Ottawa. I'm sitting there,
Yeah.
minding my own business, and I'm like, ooh, there's Joe in the corner.
Right.
So he actually walks by. He comes up to me, and he introduces himself. Like,
Right.
hi, my name is Joe. I'm like, what the hell? I should be introducing myself to you.
Right.
Like, the fact that he got up and talked to me, and he goes up, shakes my hand, and he says, I heard you know your shit. And he's like, yeah, Sean told me a lot about you. He says he knows your shit, and he doesn't say that about anybody. So that's crazy. What an experience. That made my life, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The fact that they both see something in me. So
Right. And
pretty
they
cool.
say they don't see that in anybody else, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And that's
Weird.
crazy for you to be in that position. And like I'm sure they've heard millions of people, millions of matchmaking ideas.
it too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like when I heard about matchmaking, I'm like, so you just put these two together? But when I actually saw him in Vegas, he was explaining it, him and
Yeah.
Mr. Shelby, and I'm like, shit, man, this is
There's way more to it.
yeah. There's way more to it. Like the grind behind them knowing your name is real. Like it's crazy how big
insane.
it is. You know. What
Yeah.
other things have you done, or like what other events have you gone to?
Well, we've after that, we've actually gone to UFC 200. So let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. That was a great experience. Sometimes I think back and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, that was so fun.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight of my trips, and it was surreal at first when I first met Mr. Shelby and like Mr. Joe Silva, because I looked at them, I'm like, these guys are regular people, you know. They seem like regular people. Like they just have a suit on. Shelby is like casually dressed, and like they talk to me as if
They don't talk down on you.
they talk on your level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like
which
just
is
like
cool.
a genuine.
It's refreshing.
It's a genuine conversation, and like in the back of my head, it kind of hit me like, these motherfuckers are millionaires, man. They were talking about houses, cars. Oh yeah, I got everything paid off. I don't need this job. I'm like, shit, but people are dying to have your job.
Yeah, they weren't
Man.
cocky about it or anything, but it's just like, you want to know the truth? Here's the truth, and I'll tell you how it is.
Yeah.
And their lifestyle, because
Mm-hmm.
they knew I wanted to get into it, so they were like, okay, well, here's how we do it. You want to
Yeah.
know how I do it? And Joe whips out his phone, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm learning from the best right now.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you can't go to school for this, can you?
No, you can't go to school for this.
Yeah, so you're basically learning from like the fucking guru of this shit.
Exactly. There's actually this one course, sports management, where they had an MMA section, and I talked to Sean about it, and he's
Right.
like, no, you don't need this shit.
Right.
You shouldn't pay for this.
Yeah.
It's $2,000. If you want $2,000 worth of information, you can talk to me.
Yeah, and that was pretty badass of him to say that. And they've had backgrounds of combat fighting too, right?
They have, yes. Actually, Sean was in the Three Ninjas movie.
What's that?
He was in, remember Rocky, Tom Tom, and Cole?
No way.
Yeah, he was. He was a stunt double.
Oh
He
shit.
just told me this.
That's badass.
I know.
But Joe Silva was actually like,
He was too as well.
yeah, it's crazy how friendly they were too. Like their personality and like who they are, they're very down to earth.
They are
And
very down to
and they're
earth.
very straight up people, and they're very friendly too. For someone to just say hi to me, like he didn't have to, but he did anyways.
But he did, yeah. And we were there. We actually just wanted to be around the atmosphere of UFC 200, but we didn't exactly have any plans to watch the shows. But we were messaging saying, "Oh, hey, we're here," and
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, enjoy Vegas," and he said, "If you're coming to the weigh-ins, then let me know."
Right.
So we were there, and he actually gave us.
Weren't we late that
access.
day?
We were.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck.
We had two weigh-ins, right?
Yeah. We went to the weigh-ins,
Yes.
and he actually gave us some backstage VIP access, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, like my mindset, I'm like, this is surreal, man. Nobody else is experiencing this. This is weird.
So we have these wristbands, and they say VIP. We're getting escorted by security.
Yeah, UFC security.
And we were in the back, and all you see are the fighters just walking around, hanging out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is this happening right now?
Yeah,
So we're hanging out there, and Sean's just like, so, what are you guys doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
You guys watching the show? Or like, and we obviously said no.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, look at this. I got 2 tickets right here.
Can I explain why we couldn't go to the fucking show?
Yeah.
Because of this dumbass. So we go to this hotel. It's called The Link. It's some hipster little hotel. You can elaborate that more. You can feel free to interrupt, but like going in there, we're like feeling all comfortable. I got my money already. I'm like, okay, I guess I could do a little shopping here and there, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, oh, wait a minute. There's this little damage deposit or resort fee that you need to pay. And what's funny is that it was, how much was it? 200, 300 bucks?
$300 goddamn dollars. And that's all we brought too.
Yeah, exactly. All we brought. And like, you know what's funny? We didn't even have enough, like, the U.S. currency. So we had to use your card.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know if there was enough in there. So that was like the ultimate, like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring
Hurt my
something
nuts.
or I wanted to buy something, but no, man.
We were just pure survival mode after that. I think we had like $100 for the rest of the time being there.
And how long were we there? Like 4 days?
Yeah.
4
Yes.
days. So shout out
Crazy.
to like ABCs. You guys are the best.
Shout out to the cup noodles.
Yeah, to the cup noodles. They're like, you know what? Cup noodles has never failed us.
No, it's always good.
Yeah, it's always there for you when you need it. So I stay loyal with the cup noodles. So stupid. I'm still mad about it, by the way. Did you ever get it back?
No.
Because
Nope.
it's... Yeah.
That's Vegas though. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, for sure.
That's
for sure.
resort fees. If you want to stay on the strip, then you're gonna have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew that though.
Yeah, well, lesson learned, you know. But then again, people play hoping to get their money back so they could have a
Exactly.
free resort. But I'm not a gambler, so...
Neither am I.
Yeah, that's just... I don't know. That was very unfortunate. That pissed me off, too, because I was like... I might find something that I want to get. Because, like, whenever I go to, like, events like that, I'd want to buy, like...
A souvenir or something.
a souvenir, a shirt.
Or you're on
a
vacation,
hat.
for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, exactly. But no. But you know what? Well, like, what compensates it is that we had a vlog. It's on my YouTube page.
It was pretty sick.
Yeah, just us having to go through it. I still watch it actually a couple times. Like,
Sometimes
man, we went
I do
here,
too.
we went here, we did this, we did that. There was a lot of fun stuff. The highlights were like the actual shows, though. It was crazy.
I'm very thankful. We were able to watch 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with being backstage, but let alone 2 shows. Like there's 3 in a row, but
Yeah.
we were able to watch 200.
Yeah, it's crazy how they wanted us to stay because we were supposed to leave
I
on
know.
the day of the Ultimate Fighter finale, right, with Joanna and Claudia.
Yeah, we
Claudia.
were supposed to leave the next day, but they're saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Just stay. Like, what does it take for you to stay? You need a place? Stay at one of our houses. Or do you need tickets? We'll give you tickets."
Yeah. And I'm just like, why are we getting this treatment?
Yeah, it
In
was
the
just-
back of my head. I know, I understand, like, them wanting to keep you, but, like, I was just tagging along.
No way! I didn't understand them wanting to keep me too.
Yeah,
What the
it's
hell?
crazy, right? And, like, you weren't really part of the UFC whole
In
thing
crowd
yet,
yet?
right?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
They just wanted to help me out, I guess, or just
Mhm.
make someone happy.
It's just some things you can't really see, right? See coming. They really see something in you, and that's really amazing.
I think it's amazing too. I'm still asking people to pinch me because I feel like it's not real.
And it's all from a tweet, too. Tweets.
That I'm telling you, social media, it's good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be, like... It's a curse and a blessing,
Exactly.
but it was a blessing in your favor. Are you going to deactivate your account?
No,
Your
I
Twitter
gotta
account?
keep on tweeting.
Yeah, I gotta let it go. What were the matches? Like, name a couple matches that you got confirmed.
Let me check what I have. I'm just gonna open my Twitter account right
Yeah.
now. It's weird because, you know, maybe it's not the matches that I made, but the fact that I'm on the same page as them.
Mm-hmm. And they're considering it too,
Yeah,
right?
they're considering it. They're looking at my stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna say it's mine exactly, but you know, just having the same chain of thought is good as a matchmaker.
Yeah, of course. You want to work with people with the same mentality, right? You don't want just like... There's a lot of thinking behind matchmaking. There is a
People don't
lot of...
realize that too.
Yeah, like I thought about it and I'm like, I don't know, man. This is hella like hard. Just to... Because then you have to consider injuries. You got to consider who's hot, who's popping. Who's on a losing streak? Who's on a
Losing
winning streak?
Fight like their win streak, and actually you got to consider the location if they want to fight in their hometown,
Right.
and you got to consider
If they're active, if
they're-
there's like if they're on a leave, if they're injured, whatnot.
also if they train at the same camp and they're friends, they probably don't want to fight each other as well.
Isn't that what Tyrone and Robbie Lawler did or whatever? Or,
Yeah, they're both ATT. Who else was there? Alistair Overeem and Andrei Arlovsky. They're both at Jackson, so one of them had to go to a different camp.
That's unfortunate.
But then again, Alistair said that they weren't really friends to begin with, so I guess that's cool. But again, it's business. You gotta fight.
What about sponsors? How do you feel about sponsors not really being shown? Because I remember back then they would have like their own customizable shorts and stuff, and they'd gear up in like cool outfits.
I wish they had sponsors. I wish they didn't have Reebok, to be honest, because I liked how they got to express their individuality, and they made way more money too with sponsors. So now they're just hurting because of Reebok. But
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
big
just my
changes
opinion.
going on, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Reebok takeover. What else is there? That Zuffa thing.
Zuffa, yeah.
Yeah.
For the better or for worse, we'll see. You just
Yeah.
have to think of it in a positive light.
What's your favorite match so far that you've seen in person that made you go, holy shit?
Well, I liked Wonder Boy and Rory McDonald. That was probably the best, but when I watched it live, it was underwhelming, but then again, it was also a chess match because they're both very technical fighters.
Yeah.
What was the best one? I think the one with me and you, Eddie Alvarez and Rafael Dos Anjos.
Yeah.
The fact that he whooped his ass and new champion was kind of cool. I didn't think I would see that in Eddie, so
Yeah, too.
that was pretty cool. There's a bunch of fights I saw. I can't keep track which ones were good, but
I like the one in Vancouver. What was
we went to the Vancouver one too.
I forgot his name, but it was Showtime Pettis and the other guy.
Oh, Oliveira.
Yeah, Oliveira.
That was a good card.
Yeah, that was a great card. I enjoyed that match though, specifically just watching it. Them going back and forth, and like the transitions that Oliveira made.
Yeah, it was
Like,
exciting.
from
We
move to move.
couldn't stay. We were at the edge of our seats.
Yeah, that was a really good card. Yeah, so we also went to the Vancouver one, which was also because this was something that they planned too, right? Weren't we planning about like them taking them out to certain places?
That didn't
Yeah,
happen,
exactly.
unfortunately.
Yeah, you went to the weigh-ins though, right?
I went to the weigh-ins and I brought them donuts and they gave me tickets as well. I didn't think they would. I never think that they would give me tickets, but they offer it to me and I'm really thankful for that. I just want to say hi, but the fact that they helped me out is really, really cool.
Yeah, for them to really go out of their way to give you tickets, they want you there. Like, it's the stars are really aligned, man.
Yeah.
Like everything is falling perfectly for you.
Even the fact that they brought me cage side that one time, and I didn't even think that was allowed, but they're
Right.
like, "Oh well, if you were by yourself, we would have brought you cage side a while back ago." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Right.
That's pretty shocking too.
Well, there's plenty more to look forward to. Like, what are the next events that you're planning to go to?
Actually, this weekend I'm gonna watch the Ultimate Fighter finale, 24.
sweet.
That's in Vegas.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse, and whoever is the flyweight champion of the Ultimate Fighter finale. Oh, it's a reality show of regional champs that fight, but usually the winner, they get a 6-figure contract, but the winner this time, they get a title shot right away, which is crazy.
Okay, so wait, is Mighty Mouse fighting? No.
Mighty Mouse is fighting the winner of that TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And how has this been? Because I remember you're not the biggest fan of like Ultimate Fighter.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't really watch TV
Yeah, that's
from
true.
the beginning. But
Right.
I started watching this season, and it's just every single episode. There's been stoppages, there's been knockouts, there's been
Yeah.
submissions. These guys aren't no joke. They're not up and comers. They're already champions in their region. So
Yeah.
it's sick having them bring all these guys in. And they know how to bring it.
Yeah. What's crazy about UFC is that anybody can win.
Yeah.
Off of like even the luckiest hit.
One punch can change everything.
Yeah, exactly. Take Jose Aldo for example.
Oh,
That still disappoints me. That still disappoints me. I remember me, Kevin, Sergio waiting downtown Boston Pizza with like the largest TV ever, and we're just waiting for the fight outside. We didn't even get a seat.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we were just watching, and we're just like, oh man, just walking around downtown trying to figure out where we can watch this fight. And then we went back to Boston Pizza, and knowing that it's a 4-hour wait, so we just decided to sit on the stairs to watch the fight. And like I always saw these two people like arguing. They're like, yeah, you know what? I'll put 20 on the line that Aldo's gonna win. Oh yeah, I'll put 20 that McGregor's gonna win. And then we watched the fight. We saw it happen, and I'm like, this is when I didn't know anything about McGregor. This is when I knew like how Aldo was dominating. What, the past 10 years?
A decade. Yeah.
A decade, and like for him to get knocked out within 13 seconds, I was like, that's not right.
I think I cried for about a day or two.
Really, about that? Yeah, because like Aldo's a beast too.
Got up out of my seat. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
what just happened?
Right.
Man, that whole card though was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if you watched that one, but holy cow, it was stacked.
I missed out because I was trying to figure out where to watch the fight. But where do you usually watch your fights?
For me, if I'm in Calgary, I just watch them at home.
Right, you order the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, I just order it. I watch it by myself. But I'm weird though. Like now, I have notes with me, and then I study the fights, and then I analyze, and then I'm like, okay, I think this guy should fight this guy for the next fight, versus like a fan watching it and just enjoying it. Not saying I don't enjoy it, but I just have different perspectives on it and stuff.
Because this isn't just like entertainment for you anymore.
No,
this could be potentially business.
It's full on work. Even when I'm at WestJet doing my job, I'm on the side watching fights, and writing things down and keeping the roster up, acting like I work for the UFC, but I don't. Like
I feel like it just works out because you having to have to travel to get to these places, and you working with WestJet, it just like it works out. It's crazy how it turns out.
It is. I mean, I get good deals and I get to fly to all these places, and these guys hook me up all the time, and we meet up. It's such a great opportunity, and I think it comes once in a while. Like, who else can say that they can do that? Yeah. So I'm very thankful for WestJet, because I think anyone can do whatever they want. Like,
I think so.
If you want to go climb mountains and stuff, you literally can. You can up and leave and go to Argentina if you want, and just do that on the side.
And like, I'm excited to see what'll happen for you in the future too. Who knows, man? Because I remember when we were in downtown, we were just like, oh shit, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna be our night? Is it gonna be your night? I mean,
red panty night.
Yeah,
just kidding.
Red panty night. But yeah, your time will come. I think your time will come, and I feel like it's close.
We just have to wait and see what happens. Don't expect it, but
but we just work towards it, right?
Work towards it, and if it happens, it happens. But don't. I'm not gonna say don't push, but know that tell them that you're still interested, but don't. It'll
you're
come.
Not expecting
if they want me to work there, then they will. If not, then look at all of the stuff that I've already done so far. I mean, I can close the books and say like, wow, this is such a great experience, but
and then just go on with something else.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't let it die, man. You can't let it die. You really
pride
can't.
never die.
Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it. I think we're good.
All right, you can take your nose pore strip off now.
I should. Oh shit, it's been an hour.
I gotta take mine off too.
Oh yeah. How's your... Okay, so what annoys you? I remember the first thing that annoyed you was having rice on the floor and you stepping into it.
Soggy cereal.
Losing your... What else? There's something that annoys us too. You're missing sock in the laundry. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah. Why does that happen?
I have no idea.
All the fucking time.
Yeah. People with annoying voices that speak out there like through their nose.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Watch, I probably sound like that. Fuck.
Is there anything you want to say to anyone out there or to yourself? Here, you can plug in, man. I'll give you 30 seconds to talk about
These nuts. Who? Me or Jordan?
No, it's for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, is there anything you want to say?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not really that cool.
I think we're cool. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Well, fuck, I think I have a nice personality, but
Yeah.
geez, I'm not like some fucking superstar here.
Yeah.
People keep on hyping that shit up, but really, I'm just...
Oh yeah, how do you feel about that? Like, don't you have people like hating on you and shit, or like, you know, have ill will towards you, or like sour because you know you get these opportunities and they don't?
Well, fuck. I mean, if you wanted to do what I did, you gotta work as hard as me, you know? I mean, look, like, how the fuck did I get into WestJet? I only had 2 years experience in aviation, but somehow I wanted it and I got it. I want to be a UFC matchmaker, so I'm gonna fucking do it. So, if you're hating on my drive, then fuck you, man. Seriously.
Just mad.
For real.
I think that food coma is hitting you now.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, you ate like 10 plates.
Yeah. No, I had two slow ass plates. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were piled like mountains.
Yeah. Well, it happens, man. I usually eat, and I usually have the messiest plate like around it. That was me when I was a kid.
I'm a neat eater.
Are you?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
shit.
cut everything strategically. I make sure everything's all even, and I don't know. If you see me eat, it's really weird.
I just make sure my shit's empty so I can go and get another round. Props, man. Props to Enung.
I
for
eat a
getting me
lot.
fat. Alright, that's gonna do it, man. That's gonna do it for real. Oh, shit.
I don't want to hear this. I think my voice is annoying.